Now, this is Edna White. I am so glad you're with me today. Today, I want to talk to you about the effects of Memorial Day. And we celebrate these holidays sometimes, and we don't think about the tragedy that it involves, that's involved in it. And I was thinking about it today and how we celebrate Memorial Day to remember those who's gone on and has served the country and did these magnificent things. But also, we comes with that is the tragedy or the feeling or the symptom of loss. And we really don't talk about that part of it. We don't talk about the loss of it and how tragic this is. The same thing with Juneteenth. The same things with Veterans Day. Those things those holidays that we're so-called celebrating comes with a lot of baggage. So I just want you to remember during this time of celebration, however you do it, whatever tune you do it to, is just to remember that there's so much tragedy in what we're experiencing, because it is around that, but we celebrate those people, but still remember that the violence behind it, and the tragedy that also endures the legacy you know and as a life coach who talks about child trauma and unresolved trauma, all of that trauma that from generations before of veterans and Juneteenth and Memorial Day, and memorials of people's death and even sometimes birth, it brings historical and generational, deeply rooted patterns over time. One of the greatest disservices we do to ourselves is maintaining the cycle by protecting the fact that we have the right to continue that loss or that feeling of loss for generations. Being a survivor of childhood trauma myself, we don't understand how it affects our family. And when I did see that it started to affect my family, I saw the resemblance of it in my children. I decided to tell them my story. The biggest violator of life is lying. The biggest deceptor of families is keeping things a secret. Knowing you did it, but keeping it a secret and never apologizing for it. This silence perpetuates the sufferings of the generations after us. And we don't know it, we don't think it does, but it imposes upon the next generation. That's not a legacy we want to leave. The legacy we want to leave is that we served well. Those of Memorial Day, those that stood up and for those rights that we had. We want to remember the good things and celebrate that. But among all of that, there's a silence of the secrets that behind it. So we can't celebrate that person because we took a part of that secret. What we do is we teach our children not to express their pain, their fears, their feelings. And we continue this cycle of silence and suffering. We don't want to do that. Legacy is about celebrating the good things. Never mind cooking hamburgers on top of everything. Never mind blowing out candles on a cake when perpetration and violations and rape and misconduct and abuse is behind it. We have to get from that. We have to move away from that. That's what this world, I'm not saying the world, but the U.S. is kind of made of. Some of the things that we've done, we keep piling on top of the lies. We keep misguiding ourselves. You know, for all those Bible believers out there, there's a scripture that says in 1 Corinthians says, I think it's 14 and 4. He who speaks in a tongue edifies himself. So he who speaks in the language that is clear to them, acknowledgeable to them, expressive to them, edifies himself. So when you speak, you have a voice. You edify yourself. And in edifying yourself, you edify others. By keeping silent, we fail to edify anybody. Now, I'm not saying go out there and start revealing secrets because you can. I'm saying finally speak out and find that it doesn't lead to destruction, but rather to the potential for healing and surviving for generations to come. No, we shouldn't celebrate people that have destroyed families. No. Just because they're our fathers, our mothers, our grandparents, our sisters, our brothers, our cousins. No. We should celebrate because we were able to say the truth to them. No, you did me dirt. You did me wrong. You hurt me. You violated me. You weren't right to me. And they were able to say, I'm sorry, and not repeat the same thing with anyone else. See, it's deeply rooted. Secrets are deeply rooted and they're painful, but yet when you pull them out, just like a dandelion, it doesn't grow again. It's simple as that. You got to get it to the root so it doesn't grow again. We must learn to speak our hearts, not just our pain. Before we can testify, when testify means to work with, to do for, to, put out there, to market to others. We need to confront our families with our truths. We need to break the silence. Because the person that you're hiding it from, or no, not even hiding it from, the person that you have perpetrated or that has been perpetrated is hurting. And do you know, just saying sorry, I didn't know any better, can stop the pain and begin the healing. You see, transformation is not about just one person. It's about many people supporting one thing. It's for ourselves as well as future generations. And we don't get that. When we pretend and when we lie and when we keep things secret, nothing changes. So I come to you today with this heartfelt, plea. Let me say this plea, because it's been on me all day, that Memorial Day in the USA, I will say, I know it's probably not celebrated in other parts of the world, but Memorial Day in the USA, yes, we celebrate those people who have gone. But if they even if they served and you didn't speak your piece, it's right to speak your piece. Not all things, not all labels, not all, actual, perceptions. You hear that the alarm, great time, right? Not all things that we've done are admirable admirable. Yeah, there you go. Something or adored, I should say, if we have done something that hurt someone and we had to admit it. We can do all the good we want to. We can buy them everything. We can. We can. We could try to. We could pay them off. We could do good for somebody else. We can make somebody feel great. We can even at our jobs, we can do so many great things. But if we don't have a voice and don't leave that legacy of that lie, that secret that we've done something, that we perpetuated, that we were perpetrators of, all it does is get deep rooted into our next generation and hurts them. And you wonder why. Oh, why are they so angry? You know why. Because the generation before them lived in their pain, their fears, and their feelings. And they continued the cycle of silence and suffering. So for this Memorial Day, remember those who've done great things, but also realize that you have losses that you need to have a voice. Speak your truth and be true to yourself.